going to be picked up. Did they miss a ban? I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see if the ban was missed or not. But it was like either out of the Jeunes or the Hecarim or any one of them, to be fair, to see like which one it was going to be banned away. But it is going to be the Viego first at pickup and the Jeunes in response instead. So I guess they missed the ban, unfortunately. It does happen, but it does mean that the show must still go on. There's so many players sleeping today, I feel like. I mean, it is a Sunday, I guess. I'll let them off. It's a Sunday. You know, maybe some of them have work tomorrow. They're not concentrating too much. Maybe they're concentrating more on their bed that's probably right next to them. But it does mean that the only Viego gets picked up first. Jeunes and Ornn being the response, which is very interesting as well, because the Ornn we haven't seen yet over the past 2 series, but has been an incredible pick as a support to make the plays with his abilities.
Yeah, they're kind of hovering the Hecarim here on the side of BBB, so this could potentially be the jungler on the side of BBB, and then maybe Viego go up into the Baron lane this time around. So again, really interesting that they've gone for that. Jeunes screwed his face up to the point that I thought I was casting with somebody else there for a second, but and then we see that the Jeunes and the Ornn come through on the side of BWS, so double knock up on the side of the Baguettes currently. I mean, they were flirting with that Kaiser pick, and now they're going for the Kaiser pick here. Is this a... What are you thinking, Stu? Tell us your thoughts.
I'm
Use your words.
I'm confused. I mean, words are not going to come out very cleanly, because I'm confused. I'm a very confused man. My brain right now is like trying to vision where this Viego and Hecarim is going to be, but I'm also visioning the missed ban as well, and I feel like both these teams are kind of trolling a little bit, but that's okay. That's all okay. Yeah, I have no idea where this Viego and Hecarim is going to go. I mean, one of them is going to go into the jungle. I have no idea where the other pick is going to go. I would most likely think that it's probably Viego Baron lane, but I really don't think it's that good of a pick in the Baron lane. It's so much better in the jungle. You have so much more playmaking potential when you're playing this pick in the jungle. But hey, maybe they just wanted to deny them both away, but then they kind of put themselves at a disadvantage as well at the same time. So it's really strange. It's a really, really weird pick, but we'll see how it goes in game.
Yeah, I think between everybody, I think Paul W in the chat has got more of an idea because he put ban Yumi, and Yumi came through as the second round of bans there going on. So clearly knows more than us.
He has the insight. Get him in.
Yeah. But then the set gets picked up as well. So probably a little bit more of a dig at the support pool. As we know that obviously support set has been something that's been on the Rift of the past couple of games over the last weekend and this weekend as well. But some solid Baron lane pickups off there in the final part of the ban on the side of BBB. We have the Jax and the Camille getting taken out of that pool as well. So currently, the only one we really know where that position is going is probably the Ornn and the Zeri going down into the bot lane. It all depends on whether that Ornn is going to go up to the top lane as well. We do see the Baron lane Ornn not as much as support, but it can still go there. And then Syndra obviously going down into the mid lane. So we're probably going to see that Jeunes be a jungler so far, it seems.
Yeah, either jungle or Baron lane, it kind of depends on where the Ornn goes as well, as you mentioned. You know, might be in the Baron lane, might be in the support. There are still some options and some flexibility. I mean, Baguettes have come up with already so many surprises, in the past 2 series that they played with the Nautilus going in the jungle. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got something else going here, something else happening. Jayce is going to be a pickup, so that's going to be mid lane. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Viego top. It has to be. I don't think there's no way that Hecarim goes top lane here. So Viego top. This is probably the first time I'm going to see this competitively and in ranked. Like,
yeah.
I have no idea here where these picks are going, but it is going to be Jeunes jungle in the end, and Renekton is going to go up into the Baron lane against this Viego. I mean, if Renekton even gets close to this Viego, I think it's bye-bye Viego, because there's just no way that Viego, I think, wins trades against Renekton in this Baron lane.
Potentially, we shall see. I mean, he's able to get that movement speed increase if he can cast a shadow onto a nearby wall to try and get out of Renekton's reach. But yes, having that on is going to be huge for those team fights going on into the later stage of the game. And then same with that Yone, we've already seen that BBB was able to pick up a great performance onto the Yone and some really good outplay maneuvers on the champion himself. But it's going to be really interesting to see how Baguette actually handles it this time around, because it is obviously final wax in the jungle for BWS. But then a different approach for Random in the mid lane. We don't get that Camille, we don't get the Yasuo, we get the Syndra pickup. So I'm very excited to see how Random plays against the Jayce in that mid lane. I feel like this is a matchup we've already seen before, obviously not between these two teams, but over this weekend or last weekend, I'm pretty sure we've seen a Jayce go against a Syndra at some point.
I think it might have been yesterday. I'm not too sure if it was Kiss Kiss or destroying the Syndra in the mid lane before yesterday, or like you said, it might have been last weekend as well. But a very interesting matchup that we'll have to see if the Jayce is able to close the gap towards the Syndra, you know, trying to jump in BD form, trying to get that little bit of damage. But I mean, the one question I have is definitely towards this Viego. Like, is this pick really going to work out? I'm not too sure. Like, I feel like it was more of a case of BBB actually denying away both the Viego and the Hecarim, with them both being strong picks. But I don't think Viego is that broken to be played in the top lane. I mean, it's really strong in the jungle, but I don't think it's like completely broken. It's like you can play it in any lane and still perform really well. Like, yeah, it's really strange.
Let them cook, Stu. Let them cook. They may cook the baguettes with this Viego pick in the Baron lane, or they may actually get beaten by some really, really stale baguettes that are just rock solid and probably more sturdier than a Nokia 3310. That if there's some people within the Boomer audience on the Twitch chat will remember that phone being basically indestructible and will probably survive a nuclear fallout if it ever happened. So we shall see how the Viego pick does up in the Baron lane. But I'm super excited to see the Yone come through onto the side of BWS, because it was exciting to see that pick once again echoing the same point I said of BBB. And Zeri against the Kaiser, again, is another matchup that we generally see from last week and this week, because yesterday Zeri was pretty much unfortunate. She got banned quite a few times in a few series as well. So for her to come out, obviously great poke potential as well, if she's able to proc her ability onto a nearby structure or wall, just to try and get that enemy hero that is trying to run away from the team fight. We can see that Zeri can try and pick her up, parkouring over the wall. It's basically like having that Talon back, but hey, they got lightning guns this time around, so let's see how it goes. And Hecarim with the wheels on the bus, we'll see if they've got the 10-hour loop going on for the side of BBB. It worked for Almighty Capybaras. Let's see if it works for BBB, because I'm pretty sure they picked up this pick yesterday and it did very well. So let's see. We shouldn't be too much longer until we have to get into game number 2.
Yes, game number 2 starting soon. I just can we just like I just want to watch Viego this whole game. I feel like
yeah, spectator cam just put a Viego solo
Conqueror barrier top lane. Like, what is I have no words. I don't know how this pick is going to go. I don't know what's going to happen with this pick. I'm lost. I think this is the most lost I've ever been casting Wild Rift, and I've been casting Wild Rift now since release for like 3 years. And this is probably the most lost I've ever been in a pick ban phase.
It seems like there's a bit of a resounding theme in your current life situation here, Stu. You've lost on Wild Rift. The delivery drivers don't know where your address is. It's pretty much
my whole life's lost at the moment. My whole life is all over the place.
Not knowing how much it costs.
Oh God, don't. It's all over the place.
Well, hopefully there's a sense of direction that is brought from this game too for you, Stu. Hopefully there's a little bit more of a tactful team fight, none of that slapdash that we were seeing in game 1, even though it was very, very fun to watch. But again, you like seeing this Viego. Well, you would not like, but very intrigued, if not interested at least, to see how this Viego performs in the Baron lane, because again, we've only seen this champion be picked in the jungle recently, and not well. Last week it was a little bit of an upset for us. We was waiting for that pick to come through, and it was pretty much a non-starter. But yesterday changed our mind because of the performance from some of these teams on the Diego in the jungle. However, it seems like it's just going to be another one of those very, very slow burning early games between these two teams, just making sure Yone is able to clear his jungle and then hopefully look for some sort of engage on this mid lane, because we know that the Syndrome may need it, especially with Jace having the utility of the close range, but also being able to use that great poke potential on the side of BBB.
Diego hasn't died yet, so that's a win in my books so far. I mean, I guess it's doing pretty well at the moment. I mean, it's not like the worst pick in the world, right? Like, I can think of worse picks in the Baron lane. Like, Yuumi Baron lane, for example, is a lot worse, you know? There's definitely a lot worse out there. I mean, there's definitely ways in which this pick can definitely work out. Really nice W there for the Ornn, and actually going to be able to get one kill in the end onto the Ornn. But now they're going to try and turn things back around here on the Hecarim. The knock up in the end, but Hecarim's able to get 2, but so is the Yone as well. Gets to level 5 as well from that engage. Triple kill for Final Wax, and this looks very deja vu to game number 1 with Yone jungle being fed, but that was actually on the losing team. So I have to see if Yone can actually come out on top this time for Final Wax. But that was a very clean dive and a very clean gank by Final Wax.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw the fact that he's able to achieve level 5 within that interaction. If it wasn't for that level going up, I don't think we probably would have seen it. But there is a 3v1 going on into the Baron lane. Renekton almost holding on there, almost home safe, but was able to be picked up by the Hecarim again in the Baron lane. So again, we are seeing this 0 to 90 miles per hour champion in the jungle really focusing, and I think that's going to be the potential difference here in this match, is just between these two junglers, as they are both ferocious, very good at ganking. They are 1 minute they're there, you blink, next minute they are in your face, and then taking a triple kill like we saw from Final Wax down in the bot lane previously, about like a minute ago, and then we saw that 3v1 going upon a Renekton up into the Baron lane. So currently only a few hundred bits of gold difference between these two teams, not a lot, nothing to sing home about, but again, they have been equalized in the kills here. So again, a very, very similar, well, actually, no, there was no kills on the board until that Rift Herald. So a little bit of a difference in pace in this game too. 44 seconds until the jungle objectives.
These jungle objectives is going to be a big thing now to see what both these teams want to kind of prioritize with the jungle objectives. But even with the Yone getting that triple kill in the bot lane at the moment, oh my god, really nice. Really nice knockback there by Random, but unfortunately not enough. Did really well to knock back the Rakan there to actually deny the charm in the end, but still got knocked up, unfortunately. And it does mean that Random is going to be down for these objectives. He's going to be up in a few seconds, and maybe he can jump back out and still do a little bit work around these objectives. But as I was mentioning, I think it will be interesting to see what the priority comes in here, because as I mentioned, even though the Yone is pretty fed, so is the Hecarim as well. You know, both these junglers at the moment, as you mentioned, are going to be the pinpoint of this game. They're going to have to keep our eyes on them throughout the whole game to see if Yone can dive into the backline or if Hecarim can do the same as well. The Ornhorn comes in. Oh my god, a perfect knock up by Rakan. Denies the Ornhorn from coming back in. But now the team fight still might go into Baguette though. The Yone does get the knock up onto the Hecarim, and the Hecarim does go down. They couldn't get close enough to that Rift Herald, and now they can look to turn towards this dragon and get double the objectives.
Yeah, it was a bit of a beautiful play there by the side of BWS being able to claim the Rift Herald, but like you said, the Ornn ultimate was pretty much just null and void because of that fantastic knockup from Jeunes on the Rakan there. So again, big props to BBB, even though they are still technically a little behind with the gold and now behind with those jungle objectives. We are yet to see where that Rift Herald is going to be placed down, but they're still in this one. A little bit more of a calculated game number 2 so far. There's not been any of those sort of mad team fights that seem to be going into the favor of one and then swiftly being knocked in on 180 into the team of the other. But we could see it here happen now. Yeunes is not going to be able to catch that Hecarim out, especially with the likes of Sprint as well, which was not procced in that whole moment, but he still had it within his use. Again, it's very, very close right now, and we're still waiting for Mr. Shelley to make her appearance. I can imagine it's either going to be one of these, either the mid lane. We know that that is a big priority between these teams, so completely getting rid of that turret in the early game, just so we can sort of get a bit more vision and get a bit more access into BBB jungle.
I have to use this soon because the tower platings are going to go down in 30 seconds. So he needs to try and use this in the lane very quickly. As you can see, the pop-up happening right now, as well as there's a mid lane play happening as well onto the Zeri. Kiskis not able to kill the Zeri in the end, but now the Yeunes is in the bot lane. He needs to drop this Rift Herald soon to try and get the full value from these tower platings, but maybe he just wants a little bit more as the Rakan goes in with the counter engage. There's no minions down in this bottom lane. Really nice knock up though by Final Axe to try and get the kill. He even ulties back in as well and does an insane play. I'm not too sure if this Rift Herald is going to get the tower platings. It's not going to in the end, but they do get 3 kills, sorry, in this bottom lane. They still get the first tower as well. Can they all go back to base before the Hecarim comes? Oh my god, it's so perfect. So everything was timed to perfection there by Baguette, and that was so good. It's like Hecarim comes, like kind of a scary movie. It's like dun 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 dun, and then everyone escapes in time, and then suddenly there's an anti-climax. Like, what a crazy moment there for Baguette. As I mentioned, they didn't get that much gold from the Rift Herald because the tower planes did go down, but I think they made up for it by getting the kills on the board.
Yeah, I think Hecarim was really deprived of that platform 9 3/4. He needed to run through that wall just to sort of try and find some sort of shortcut to try and claim those kills. But unfortunately, the recalls was just timed perfectly on the side of BWS. And again, we're already seeing not a great gold lead, but still a lead anyway. And turrets trading across the map. So one in the Baron lane, one down into the bot lane, thanks to Shelley. And obviously, like you said, picking up those 4 kills, or 3 kills, I believe it was, because there was 4-4 recently, and now it's 7-4 onto Baguette with Sauerkraut. But they are going in with disengage, potentially with the Yeunes. He has the ultimate. He goes in, knock up onto the Rakan, taking him out pretty early in that team fight, but it is thanks to Zeri getting that last hit onto the Rakan now, and obviously a lot of damage coming on from random for the Syndra as well, forcing the Viego back to base as they take that second tier turret, hopefully, in the Baron lane.
Really nice play again. The combo with the Yeunes, the knock up into the ultimate as well, being able to just do so much damage, and the Ornhorn from downtown as well. It looks like Baguettes are finally finding their own. This Viego top lane, as I mentioned, is not really doing too well, and the Hecarim is going to get caught as well. It just looks like BBB are just all over the place in this game, Blam. They just have no idea what to do in any of these scenarios right now, and it does mean that Baguettes are able to capitalize on this and do so much work with these picks, especially this Yeunes jungle right now, which 2 games in a row now have had great performances. Wasn't able to win the last game, but in this game, the early triple kill in the bot lane really giving Final Wax that momentum.
Yeah, I think it's all probably down to props to Final Wax here, and obviously Zeri claiming so many kills, because if it weren't for those putting so much great pressure on in the early game, we'd probably see the Jace and the Kaiser activate as well. Viego is pretty much a bit of a mishit anyway, as we've alluded to in that draft. But again, Hecarim just missing out these prime opportunities. The timing just a little bit off. We saw a few claims to fame for the Hecarim in the mid lane early on, but since then, have we really seen any potential from the Hecarim other than just poorly timed ganks as they were looking to recall and potentially get some low health kills onto the side of BWS? But now they are 10 kills to 4. the gold lead is slowly slipping away from BBB. The brilliant BabyBus to not miss out that point as well is definitely running out of time. It's definitely out of schedule. But speaking of that, Final Wax almost got caught out there with a 3v1 because Syndra is too far away to do any damage onto any of the enemy here champions within that clash. And here comes Hecarim coming around. We see that turret gets taken down by Kaiser, so Kaiser's going to get a nice bit of gold now, and soaking a lot of that damage for the likes of the Syndra and the Yeunes to try and escape. But now Yeunes has taken a few hits. Not back from the Syndra has been vital in this 3v3 between BBB and BWS. But while that's gone on, Renekton and Zeri taking the inhibitor and potentially another one in the name of DJ Khaled.
And another one. Not going to happen this time around, unfortunately. They're only going to get one in the Baron lane, but still, that's an incredible trade by Baguette. You can really see that BBB were desperately looking for that play in the bottom side of the map. It looks like a complete desperation for them to try and come back into this game, but they are looking all but out of this one at the moment. Every single time they try and look to make a play, it's just not going in their favor. And now pings are going towards this Baron. They can really try and look towards this Baron now. The super minions are going to be pushing in that top lane. They do need to still be a little bit careful of this Hecarim because it can still do a lot of work. But look at the goal leads across the board, though. 1,500 goal lead in the bot lane, 1,000 goal lead in the jungle, pretty much 1,000 gold lead in the mid lane as well, and there's just everything across the board. Ornn is going to try his best again to try and tank up all the damage, but it looks like Ornn's actually going to go down this time, but the counter engage is going to come in, the flash away from the Zeri, and it's just clean up for Final Wax on this Yeunes in the end. The knockup comes through. He's actually going to die for it in the end, but he's going to make sure that his team can secure all of these kills. Is Random going to get another kill with the Arcane Comet? The burn from the Liandry's, no, is not going to come out in the end. They do have a few minions in this mid lane. I'm not too sure if they can finish. They have 20 seconds to try and finish this game. There's no more Nexus Shield anymore because that top lane inhibitor did go down really early on, but they're going to back for now. They're going to play it safe. I'm pretty sure if Final Wax didn't die in that scenario, they probably could have taken the Baron and maybe could have even looked to try and finish the game, but Final Wax just going a bit too far in that last fight. But again, it's just all going in favor of the Baguettes.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much that BBB can really do here. They're still behind by that steady 5k gold. Again, they got a few kills here and there in that last little interaction, but majority of BBB going down is, again, a great detriment to their comeback potential in this game too against BWS. But it was like you were saying, if Final Wax was a little bit too greedy there, a little bit too overextended, we could have seen the Baron Nashor takedown and then just kind of regroup and then try and push that mid lane. They did take the inhibitor, however, and that third and final Drake is going to come up in about 40 seconds, and BWS have currently got 2 under their belt. Can they claim a third so they can get that Dragon Soul as well? Obviously, it's probably not the best Dragon Soul to go for, but it's a Dragon Soul regardless. But the way they're performing in this game, I don't think it's going to make a difference much anyway, because they are very, very far ahead, and just a tempo. They are in control in game 2.
Need to be careful of the Hecarim gank. We have seen that the Ornn already is tanking up so much damage in these fights. They're all trying to posture around this objective. The Zeri going back to base to complete the Infinity Edge. That is a big power spike for this Zeri, but it looks like they want to try and trade the Dragon Soul for the Baron, but look how cleverly they're looking to try and play this right now. The big thing is that BBB do have vision of this dragon. They know that Yeunes is all alone at this dragon, but the rest of Baguettes are trying to make sure that they cannot take this Baron for free. They need to take it quickly. This dragon is gone down. The Baron needs to be taken quickly because the Yeunes can join back in the fight. It's a 4 versus 5, but now the Yeunes joins into the fight. Dives straight in onto the Jace. That's 1 kill. Can get 2 kills now onto the Hecarim. That's 2 kills. They can even turn onto the Baron. The Baron's like 200 HP. Hey, they don't even need the Baron in the end. The The Yone is going to try and do all he can, but it doesn't matter. Pings are happening onto the mid lane right now. Unfortunately, for the side of BBB, they were not able to secure the Baron in time. It was on like 1,500 health, but the Yone was able to take the Baron, the Dragon, sorry, way too quickly. And now this means that the side of Baguette can finally finish this second game. 2-0 for the Baguettes, 2-0 for the favorite food of France. And the bus is slowly but surely breaking down as Baguettes take the second series of this grand final.
Yep, the wheels on the bus are definitely not going round. They are going left to right and potentially falling off the axes at the bottom of the bus. And no passenger wants to be on that because it's probably going to be final destinations ending for them. But again, BWS, we've seen this before. They managed to take a 2-0, but the enemy team was able to take a game from them in game 3. Is that going to be the same fashion going into this last match of today? And especially in the grand finals, BBB need to draft something much better than that Viego in the